So good day, friends. This is Dr. Bob Hamilton, and you have tuned in today to the Hamilton Review, where kids and culture collide. Before we get going today, I want to say, first of all, thank you. Thank you for tuning into the show. It means a lot to me. I know that all of you have lives and you're busy, and the fact that you have tuned in today warms my heart. So thank you. If you like what you hear, share it with others, pass it on to your friends and family, and I appreciate that as well. So today we're going to have not one guest, but we're having four guests. I'm going to introduce them to you in a moment, but let me give a little backdrop. So for the last many years, I can't even count how many, I have been involved with an organization called the Los Angeles Pediatric Society, otherwise known as LAPS, LAPS. I was the president of LAP Society some time ago. And one of the programs that we do every year, every summer during the month of July, is a program that we call the Jean and Eve Black Summer Internship Program. And it a long name, but basically what that means is that we we solicit applications from young teenagers in their between their junior and senior year of high school, and we bring them into our offices, and we actually have them watch what we do as doctors. They come room to room to room, and they basically get a feeling for what it's like to be a pediatrician. Now, we also, some of the program I do obviously is in my private office, but there are literally scores of young men and women who are participating in the program. They have different offices and situate hospitals that they're in. So all the kids don't have the exact same experience. But this is a wonderful mentorship program. I have to tell you, this has been near and dear to my heart for many years. And I thought I would give a little shout out on my podcast about it. First of all, for those of you out there listening, if you have young children or grandchildren who are approaching that time in their life between their junior and senior year, maybe next year, and you want them to have an amazing, incredible experience, you can have them contact the LAP Society, put their application in, and go through the process, because it's not trivial. You have to apply for this program. And it turns out we choose only the very best and the brightest. By the way, the LAP Society has been doing this now for 55 years. This is the 55th year of the program. And we've had literally hundreds and hundreds of kids. Right now, there are probably in the offices and around the LA around 80 to 90 kids who are actually involved in the program. And I will tell you that this is a bright star for Los Angeles Pediatric Society. And so it's been a joy for me as a private doc in the community to be able to participate in this way. So that's that. I'm going to introduce my students to you today. First of all, we have, I'm looking at them from left to right. We have Cassie. Next to her is Maggie. Next to her is Alejandra. And next to her is Caleb. And students, thank you for taking the time to be on the Hamilton Review today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
You are totally welcome. So, all good-looking kids. I think you can. If those of you who are watching this on YouTube can see, this is an amazing, lovely group of people. So, I would like maybe first of all, let me go down from again my left to your right, from Cassie to Caleb, and maybe Cassie, tell us maybe why you decided to apply for this program.
So, obviously, as you're approaching your junior year, you're looking at different experiences to kind of diversify your application as you will be submitting it in the fall season. And Obviously, we're just high school students, haven't even received our diploma yet, so we don't have a lot of education in anything medical. So there's very few programs, and those that exist are naturally very competitive. So I was looking for one of those competitive programs to apply to. And this was one of the only ones that came up, and it just happened that I decided to apply, and I was very lucky to have gotten in. But for me, it was really, I wanted to receive that more hands-on experience. A lot of what goes on in high school is just learning, and obviously that's a very vital part of the medical field is learning all the material. So eventually one day you can apply it. But I think another really crucial part is actually being there and making sure this is like what you want to do.
Very good. Maggie, why did you apply?
A lot of my answer is very similar to Cassie's, but as I've been getting older and throughout high school and thinking about like what I wanted to do, medicine has been like very clearly the answer. And so this year, as I was thinking about colleges and about summer and how to like best set myself up for the career that I would want in medicine, I was looking for a summer program that would kind of help me along that path. And so I researched a bunch. I was really like in depth on all of these different programs, and this just stood out as like by far the best. From what I could see, this is really the only one where we could get such hands-on and like hands-on experience, and it's very competitive, so you know that it's very good. And yeah, it just seemed to be an amazing way to sort of further that goal, and it's been a really cool experience so far.
It's very good. Alejandra, you're up.
Well, same as Casey and Maggie, my response is mostly similar. But for my part, I did not know I wanted to study medicine. I've always wanted to do something else until a few years ago. My aunt got sick, so I started being around more doctors and hospitals and just seeing like how they work out the machinery, the nurses inserting the needles or any sort of like small detail, it would just like captivate me. And I wanted to learn more about it since I decided that's what I wanted to study. And I found this program and I saw that we receive one-on-one sessions between doctors, nurses, orthopedics, and sports medicine people. I think that I saw myself coming to this program, and that's the reason that I decided to apply.
Very good. Okay, Caleb, what was the reason you applied?
All right, so the direct reason why I applied was because my counselor told me about the program on Schoology, my school's website. She told me about the program. She messaged me and she told me that, Caleb, I know you're interested in the medical field, so I feel like this would be a good fit for you. And the more I researched about it, the more I agree with that statement because it's a lot of hands-on one-on-one treatments with the patients and the doctors, and you're able to learn hands-on about what they do in their daily careers and lives. And for me, I feel like it's a good program for me because I'm able to go to different fields like the pediatric field, dermatology, physical therapy, and whatnot, and I can explore different career paths that I might like in the future.
That's right. So friends, let me just say this: that the the kids who are actually admitted to the program, they are correct. It is a very competitive program. We do look at their what they've been doing, um, their activities, and we do look at their grade point averages. Sorry, kids, we do, and see how they've been doing. If they really have um, shown a certain amount of diligence during their high school years. And by the way, all of these young people in front of you, those of you who are watching, they're all smart kids. I can tell you that they're all really accomplished in their young lives. They're young, they have a long way to go, but what they've done already is pretty amazing. So they're selected. They're pretty highly selected actually. And so I do want to say, first of all, congratulations to all of you for being in the program. But also, we in the medical field, we are trying to capture the minds and the affection of smart kids because we want you to be doctors. We want you to be nurses. We want you guys to go into a field which I still think is a high calling. I think that medicine, first of all, is a field that you can live your entire life in and grow and continue to nurture, you know, uh, your curiosity, I guess. Medicine is constantly changing, and you can't just kind of finish your last day of medical school and be done with your learning. This is a lifetime of learning, and I don't know about you, but for me, and I think you guys agree with me, that is a wonderful thing to have. Is that you have that challenge of every day getting up and learning something new. I personally try to make that something that I do. So again, going from left to right, Cassie, what do you want to become a doc?
So I actually want to become like a pediatric nurse practitioner. And it's something that I've thought obviously long and hard about, and going through different programs throughout my high school career. It's still a battle I kind of have in my mind. So I'm hoping to apply to nursing school in the fall, get some experience out in the field, and then eventually apply to a master's program. But as a backup, and I really do recommend this, I've talked to a lot of doctors and nurses and just people who have even been in finance and transitioned to the medical field. They say the best thing that you can do to kind of have that pillow for your undergraduate degree is do your pre-med credits. So that's what I'm planning on doing, is getting my nursing degree, but also doing my pre-med credits. And I know it's going to be a lot of work and a challenge, but I really want that pillow. So just in case I go into the nursing field and decide, oh, maybe I want to become a doctor, I have that ability just to take the MCAT and go straight to medical school instead of going back and paying more money and more tuition and all that stuff. So that's my plan.
So you're thinking ahead, and you're correct to think about the finances, because going to college these days is not for free. So Maggie, are you thinking about becoming a pediatrician or a doctor? What are your thoughts?
I think so. I know for sure that I want to go into medicine, but I'm still just interested in so many things. So what I'm doing right now is trying to like narrow it down and see. I know that I'm really, really interested in pediatrics and also in like neuroscience and the brain and studying that. And so I want to go into college studying neuroscience and psychology, and then do like pre-med credits, do pre-med, like do research, do medical experiences, and then apply to medical school from there and see like my goal is during college and in this next year to kind of get those experiences so that I can figure out exactly which specialty I want to go into.
Sure. I mean, you guys are young, and we don't expect everyone to have a clear vision for your future. It takes a while to kind of go through a couple of things. So that's a good answer. Alejandra, do you have any thoughts about your future? Is it in medicine, or what are your thoughts?
Yes, I do have thoughts in going into medical school. I'm gonna be applying to university this fall, undergrad, and I'm planning on either becoming a pediatric surgeon or a neurosurgeon. So those are my two goals that I'm willing to.
Alejandra, you can become a pediatric neurosurgeon. You know that. So you could combine both of those interests into one line of work. Good for you. That's a high. Those are big goals. They really are. Okay, Caleb, you're up.
Like Alejandra, I too would like to be in the OR, but not during surgery. I would like to become an anesthesiologist at the end of my career path. Although my path there is not fully cleared out for me just yet, because I don't know what I want to major in college just yet. Probably something biology related or maybe chemistry related. But I'm not too sure just yet. And I feel like being in this program can help me guide my path to be able to choose these different majors. I can explore different opportunities in different classes and whatnot.
Yeah, that's good. And that's our whole goal. Our whole goal is to really introduce you to the field of medicine. Clearly, you're all not going to become pediatricians. We know that. Clearly, you may actually not even go into medicine. That's fine too. What we want is at least you to have an awareness of what the field has to offer. Okay, going again, Cassie, you're up. I'm curious. You've been rotating through different offices and different situations. Can you tell us? Can you kind of tell us about what a typical day looks like in the Even Jean Black program?
Yeah, so I'll kind of break it down schedule wise. So we usually arrive at the office at 8:30. And this is, as Dr. Hamilton said, this is our main office, but other students have other main areas they go to. So we arrive here usually in the morning at 8:30. And every day is kind of broken up into this chunk of 8:30 to 1 to 2 is our lunch break, and then 2 to 5 is another chunk. So usually in those either morning or evening chunks, we'll go either to another office or we'll stay here and shadow the doctors here.
And Maggie, what kind of cases have you seen, and things that you've learned?
I've seen a lot of really interesting cases at Dr. Benham's office. I was able to see a couple of people with alopecia and sort of the process of dealing with that, and with vitiligo, which is the like discoloration. A lot of really interesting pediatric cases. Just seeing all sorts of things from like well visits to sick children, different kinds of viruses. It's been really interesting. Yeah. And seeing orthopedic, so sports injuries and dealing with that and just all of it.
It's good. Alejandra, can you add to that? Any cases that you have seen that have made a impact on you?
Yeah, I remember Dr. Bob Hamilton took us to St. John since he does his rotation there. And I remember this one day where we saw a circumcision. It's pretty funny. The dad was more worried, which was also pretty funny. I've seen
I hope I didn't, give you PTSD there, did I?
No, of course not. And then in Dr. Jenna Roberts' office, we saw some hemangioma. We saw some ear infections, sick patients, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Caleb, do you want to add to these comments?
Yeah, I too was there for Alejandra's experience with the circumcision patient, and I was the one holding the binky with the sugar water for the baby. Fortunately, the baby was not drinking any of the sugar water, so she was crying. Oh, he was crying his head off the whole time. But I'm glad I was there to experience with the baby's procedure. And for my experience, at least, I mainly just seen mainly well babies, so I haven't seen anything too out of the ordinary. But I like being able to see what the doctors do to treat the well babies, like how they approach asking the baby or asking the parents questions such as how well are they nursing the baby, how much sleep are they getting. I like seeing how the doctors have different approaches to asking these questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Go ahead.
so on like the first day of the program, it was really cool. Dr. Hamilton took me and Cassie to round on newborn babies at St. John's, and just being there like on a human's first day of their life, and just seeing them in that moment and being able to see that well checkup it was a really cool experience. Definitely.
Cassie, your thoughts about that when you went over?
Oh, I've always wanted to like see and work with babies. So I agree. It was
Yeah.
an awesome experience, and it's just such a I guess anxiety like heightened time for the parents, but you have this professional come in and they ask you so many questions, and they have so many curiosities about their child because they don't know what's normal, and you're able to come in and just kind of soothe this feeling of like, oh my god, is my kid okay, and how are they doing, and you're able to provide that sense of like, it's gonna be okay, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Well, it also at your age, you guys are a tender age here, and to actually see a brand new newborn baby, have you ever seen that before? One day old, a brand new child born that day.
I
Yeah.
volunteer at Huntington Hospital, and specifically in the mother baby unit, which is
Okay.
where they are sent after labor and delivery. And so that's what I love about volunteering there, is just like is rounding on the moms and bringing them water and just congratulating them and seeing them all happy with their new little babies.
That's good. By the way, volunteering, you guys pretty much all of you, I think, volunteer at some level, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
And I think that this is one thing that I think is very, very critical. In addition to the Gene Black program, obviously, that was one of the things I look for when I do look at the applications. Is I look and see if is there evidence of their interest in other medicine in general. Volunteering in hospitals is a phenomenal thing. I know that you do that, Caleb. Right? You're a volunteer over at St. John's, and tell us a little bit about your volunteering.
Oh yes, I've been volunteering at St. John's since last August, in August 2023. And I've been volunteering there once a week at either the orthopedic unit or the PACU. So the PACU is the recovery unit for surgeries after the OR. And my job there is to be the receptionist and take people's calls and take people back into the PACU so they can visit their loved ones. And
Yeah.
my job in the orthopedic unit is to round the different rooms and provide patients with water, care, just a helping hand. So been a very nice learning experience there, and I've been able to learn a lot about patient care there too.
It's good. I think that whenever you get in the hospital, no matter what level you are engaging the hospital, it's always wonderful. Alejandra, one thing I realized I did not talk about where you guys are going to school. So, Alejandra, can you tell us where you're? And we'll start with Alejandra, but we can go ahead and everyone kind of comment where you're going to school and what grade you're at. I think you're all going into 12th grade. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Alejandra, tell us where you're going to high school right now.
Yeah, so I currently attend Animo Venice Charter High School. It's a very small school. If I'm not mistaken, I don't even know the address to my own school, but if I'm not mistaken, it's on Lincoln and Broadway, behind Broadway Elementary. So it's a very small school, but yeah.
That's great. How I mean by small, how big is it, by the way?
Ooh, probably like overall a good 500 to 600 students.
Oh, well, that isn't small. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty big.
Oh,
It's a charter school, is that correct?
yes, it is.
Okay, wonderful. Good. And Maggie, where do you go to school?
I different from Alejandra, I go to a very big school. I go to Eagle Rock High School, and it is 2,400 kids, but it's also 7th through 12th, all in the same campus. There's no separation. And
Okay.
I love it. It's a public school, but it's got a really good education. They have this international baccalaureate program, and I love having the middle and the high school combined because it
Yeah.
kind of creates a community when you come in middle school. It makes the transition to high school so much easier, and you already feel like you have your community.
Yeah. Cassie, where do you go to school?
I go to St. Monica's, and I've been there since my freshman year. Even though it is like a K through 12 school, I started there. And since we're kind of saying a little bit about the school, I would say just my favorite thing is the community and the overall diversity and experience that they provide, both in their education and just how included all the kids are in like after school activities.
I know that St. Monica's, by the way, is in Santa Monica, California, so it's right down the street. Caleb, where do you go to school?
I go to school at University High School Charter. It's on the corner of Texas and I think Barrington. Yes, Texas and Barrington. And one thing I like about the school is that it offers both a charter and a magnet program. So the charter program is targeted more towards like an artsy English related program, and then the magnet it's targeted more towards like a STEM major or like math, science classes. So I like having a diversity in classes and for students to be able to pick what they would like to do.
Yeah. So you guys are, I mean, you guys are obviously pretty mature for your age because you're doing this program, you applied for it. Do you guys do anything else other than, well, I know that Alejandra plays guitar. So tell us about your guitar playing, Alejandra.
Yeah, so I recently started playing the guitar. Well, not recently, actually, like a year or two. my dad was the one who actually inspired me to do so. Mostly because my sister started playing the accordion. She's honestly amazing, and I'm not just being biased about it, but anyone would say that, even my family. So I started playing the guitar, mostly join her with the songs. And yeah, so whenever we go to like family gatherings, most of the time we both take our instruments. And when everyone's done after the party and they're drunk and everything, we're over there playing a couple of songs for our drunk uncles. But yeah.
Okay. I hope you're not getting drunk with them.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah, that's good. It's kind of hard to play guitar when you're drunk. So, okay, Caleb, what are you up to? What are your extracurricular activities?
So at uni, I'm a part of the volleyball team there. Shout out to my coach Memo. He's an amazing guy. I've learned so much from him, not just from volleyball, but just to become a better person in general. And outside of school, I also work at Chick-fil-A at Century City. So it's been a learning experience there too. I've been able to work on my social skills. I've been able to work on my patience, most definitely with some customers, and it's an overall good experience too.
Yeah, I guess there are patients, and then there is patience, right? So you're working on both. By the way, it's actually good to have patience when you're working with patients. I just want you to know that. Maggie, what do you do? Your extracurricular activities?
I play water polo at my high school, and I absolutely love that so much. I also I'm the president of our Model UN club, and I'm the treasurer of the senior class office. And outside of school, I babysit, and I have one girl that I tutor after school sometimes. And I'm a huge reader, so I'm doing that a lot during my free time.
Good for you. That's great. Cassie, do you have any activities
I have
outside of doing Gene Black program?
I have a few. So I am captain of the cheerleading team. I'm a part of a program called Ambassadors at my school, which is taught me a lot of great social skills with people. We give tours for the school. I'm also part of my ASB at school, volunteer at St. John's, and I'm also president of the pre-med club. So all that stuff keeps me pretty busy.
Pretty busy. So I mentioned the activities, everyone, because um, life is rich and life is full. You can't be unidimensional. And one of the things we look for in kids who are applying to this program and actually applying to medical school are kids who have a lot of other things going on. So I knew that they all had plenty of stuff going on. And those of you who are watching this should be encouraged. You can see some young people who have their heads screwed on pretty darn well, and it's wonderful. And I will tell you, it's wonderful for me as a pediatrician and as a doctor to have these young kids in the office. And it's a lot. I mean, I enjoy it personally, but as getting to know them, but also it's encouraging to me to see that there's a lot of good stuff going on in our culture. And I appreciate you guys. You guys are volunteering. You're already giving back, and may that continue to be in your lives. So as we finish up here, just watching our time, I want you guys, I'd like to, well, Cassie, we'll start with you again and work our way over. Tell us, I want you to speak to high school kids who are maybe a year or two younger than you. Why would you recommend them to apply to this program?
Okay, so first of all, the thing that I found really fascinating, or the thing that I learned from the program, was just really about childhood development. And like Maggie said earlier, I really appreciate how care changes throughout the life, and pediatricians are willing to adapt to every single stage of care and provide a different type of care for each patient. And I would just apply to the program to learn that. And I don't know if you remember, Dr. Hamilton, but on the first day, you said, just in a normal conversation, it wasn't even like, here's some advice. You literally said, if you say something, mean it. If you make a promise, keep it. And so we framed the quote actually in a little frame for your office, because it's something that I talked about with our fellow students for the last 2 weeks. Is as a doctor, you're putting a lot, or people are trusting you to care for them. And the things that you say, they really internalize. And I've learned that during this program. And it's really important to mean the things that you say. So that's
Well, anyway, if I did say that, I must have been quoting somebody, but that's
no, you really said it in a conversation, I swear.
that's very sweet. Okay, well, thank you for that. I will put it on the wall and remind myself of my good advice to myself. Okay, Maggie, why should people apply to this program?
So many reasons. Definitely, if you're interested in the medical field, this is such an amazing experience, kind of unlike any other experience that's out there right now for LA kids our age. Like, just the ability to, for 2 weeks, be in there with doctors and see what they do and just be a part of that is such a cool experience. And if you're not interested in the medical program, this is still such an amazing experience because, first of all, it can show you whether or not this might be a career that you want to look at. And it's also just so amazing to, as I said, just shadow doctors who do so much and just to see how much they do. And you learn so much. And I feel like I've gotten so much from this experience.
Great. Alejandra?
No, yeah, I would say this is a very great opportunity for upcoming seniors next year. Like you get to learn a lot of on-hand stuff. You get to meet a lot of doctors, and it's also a great way to like be open-minded and see is this really what like I really want for the future. And overall, it's just like a great opportunity. Like Maggie said, there isn't a lot of opportunities like this in LA. And yeah, I would say take advantage of it while you can, because some of these don't last.
Yeah, that's true. Caleb, if you're talking to a younger kid, you're a couple years younger than them, what would you tell them about why they should apply to this program?
Yeah, definitely. I like to add on to what they've all been saying is that you can't really replicate a physical experience like this online. Like you could watch a couple tutorials taught by lecturers and professors and whatnot, but you can't really replicate what you learn in person here. Like you learn so much about in-person care, as I've been saying earlier, like just how to talk to the patient, how to comfort the patient if they're in distress, and how to as you professionally do it, the Hamilton hold. Like I learned how to hold a baby and not make them cry, because whenever I hold babies I make them cry for some reason. So you have taught me to how to hold a baby and not make them cry, and that's something I don't think I could have learned if I just watched a YouTube tutorial at home.
So now I'm working on a how to keep an adolescent from being sassy. I'm working on that hold. I'm not sure what it is going to be, but anyway, you guys, that's my next project. So listen, thank you guys for first of all for being very very articulate and sharing with everybody your thoughts and your experiences. I do think that the Gene Black program is one of the kind of the hidden program that needs to be out there, and people need to hear about it more and more and more because it's an incredible opportunity. So thank you for even being on this little program today. And friends, thank you for tuning in today to the Hamilton Review, where kids and culture collide. The collision with these young people is in education. So that's part of the culture colliding with kids, and these guys have collided with the Even Gene Black program in a wonderful way. So thank you guys, and to those who are out there listening, thank you for tuning in. Be well. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to the Hamilton Review, where kids and culture collide. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. Tune in again next week on Apple Podcast. Rate and comment and tell a friend.